Here's a quick rant about content creation and distribution in 2025. Now, for more than 2 decades, my professional career has been in marketing and advertising. I've been a writer, I've been a strategist, I've been a business development and salesperson for some big brands, especially in life sciences, in healthcare. And I've seen huge companies spend millions of dollars on creating chunks of content, doing all the research, busting their heads, getting in creative teams, pulling out the tactics. Everyone was talking about multi-channel, like you don't just do TV, but you put it on the internet. Then social media, mobile technology. Then the platforms came up. And what I've seen for years is this vestigial tissue, if you will, is this habit of overthinking the shit out of everything you put out there. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a big company, especially in life sciences and healthcare, you have to be very, very careful. Not only is reputation an issue or potential issue, but you need to be compliant. If you're making a claim, you are stating that your drug, your device can do something to the human body, then not only do you need to prove it according to the clinical trials and other data that got your drug or device approved in the first place, but you need to balance it with the adverse potential side effects. So you say what it can do, and then it's got to be balanced, fairly balanced with the inevitable side effects and dangers. I get all that. I've been living, breathing that stuff for years, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this obsession, not only at the top corporate level and at the agency level, but at the personal level of content creators who are so obsessed with the minutia of every fucking thing that they create and throw out there. You even see this on shitty Instagram reels, these overproduced, overwrought, staged constructs for comedy and parody. And I don't get it. And the reason that it confuses me and seems counterproductive is because there's just so much right now. There's so much being thrown out there. And everyone is tapping and streaming and just blazing through all of this content. So if you're laboring over something, you're like polishing that turd, while you're doing that and exhibiting so much elbow grease, there's a million other people who are just jamming the interwebs with their own bullshit. And this goes to what everyone's been talking about regarding attention. You need to get attention and sustain it. And the way to do that, don't get me wrong, isn't by just constantly barfing out shitty content. But the way to do that is to be bold, be brash. And as we've seen time and time again, the videos, the politicians, even the companies that get that attention and sustain most of that attention, do it by just letting it out. It comes from here, not from here. It triggers raw emotion. And there's a random factor. There's a what the fuck factor. Like some viral video gets 20 million, 30 million, 100 million views and millions of likes, tens of thousands of comments. And then retrospectively, you look at that reel and you're like, what the fuck? But see, that's the essence of my point. You don't know until you know. And nothing's going to happen unless you just give it your best shot. And even going back 10, 15, 20 years, we were even talking about agile sprints and this idea of just spontaneous creativity and compressed little nuggets of frenetic energy, which result in something cool, and then just throwing it out there. So I'm ranting about this because I've been pumping out content. And is it perfect? No. And do I have millions of followers? No. But I love it. And this is like an exercise in getting better and better at expressing opinion and getting comfortable in front of a camera and doing this multi-channel kind of dance, releasing a podcast, doing a video about it, writing a blog, publishing a book and ranting about that. And in my own little ecosystem here, my own little Mookie writer world, I'm having a blast. And you're welcome to come along for the ride. And if you follow me, I sincerely appreciate it. And I've learned a lot from the comments, especially the negative ones. For example, speed these up. I got to get to it. So some of these videos, like 1.2 to 1.5, I'm in-shotting these videos to speed them up because I need to get to the point faster. And that's helped me become a better storyteller, too. And I've learned about using these apps and just kind of winging it. And the overall greatest benefit that I've gotten from all these rants and just throwing shit against the wall, not even thinking about or worrying about who's seeing it, who's responding, and what kind of traction I'm getting is I'm leaving like this breadcrumb trail of my own goodies. And this goes back to Rick Rubin's comment that it's not so much about the audience, but it's about you, the creator. And all of these breadcrumbs, or turds, if you want to see it that way, are a daily diary, sometimes an hourly diary of a life. Remember The Truman Show? That great Jim Carrey movie from decades ago that was so ahead of its time. This was pre-social media, pre-digital. And he had this guy whose entire life was recorded and then broadcast around the world as the ultimate voyeurism. And it was such a great commentary on this new media before this new media even began and got traction. And I could relate to that in terms of like becoming my own absurdist, bald-headed, ranting Truman Show. And for me, this is so joyful. And what releases my own creativity more than anything else is, going full circle in this rant, the lack of inhibition, the lack of polishing these things. the lack of refinement. They're thoughtful. I put time into it. I'm not just letting loose anything and everything, but I'm doing it in a way which is liberating and not restricting, which is empowering and not muzzling. Because as an artist, the very worst thing that you can do for yourself is to become your own worst critic. You need to be judgmental. You need to tear it up. You need to be hard on yourself. You need to work hard, but you also need to love it and just let the beast out. And that is what I've been doing, but I think that it's one of the healthiest and best expressions of media today. Sure, there's tons of shit out there. There always is. But this opportunity that everyone's got for self-expression and the ease of use of these applications makes it so enticing and inviting and just, here's my deal, so liberating. Let it out. Don't give a fuck and have a great time. And if you do that, chances are someone else is too.